Right, it was entertaining from the blast of the whistle to the very end. From the Bernabeu to the Emirates Stadium, action-packed Champions League night for Man City and Arsenal. Now, let's move on to other venue. What a week of European football we've got in store as well. Other European ties involving English sides this week. So that's why we've got Nolan and Sam on hand to take us through all of this. Goodness me, we want to start with West Ham. Pretty daunting task for them, isn't it? Yeah, probably no more daunting task in European football right now. Xabi Alonso's BayerLeverkusen side, we've already touched on them. 16 points clear in the Bundesliga title race. I say a race, it's done now. They only need to match Bayern Munich's result this weekend as they play Werder Bremen to secure their first trophy since 1993. They are through to the DFB Pokal final against Kaiserslautern, and they've got a great chance of beating West Ham as well. West Ham might take a little bit of confidence from the fact that they struggled at points in their last 16 tie against BayerLeverkusen. They had to score 3 of their 5 goals after the 90th minute mark to make it through against them. Patrick Schick popping up with goals in both legs. He was absolutely remarkable. Nathan Teller's out as well. Former Burnley and Southampton forward Adam Plozek, their Czech Republic forward as well, is going to miss this one. But it's such a difficult test for West Ham. Florian Wirtz, Alex Grimaldo, Jeremy Frimpong. These are some of the best players in Europe so far this season. For West Ham, they did beat Wolves at the weekend. They've only lost one of their last 7 games in all competitions. But I think most West Ham fans would have some question marks over the direction and the style of play played under David Moyes so far, but they can take a lot of confidence from the fact that they are the Conference League champions. They've been through to the Europa League semi-finals in the past, but Xabi Alonso's BayerLeverkusen, probably the form side, the most remarkable story in European football this season. I think this is going to be really difficult for West Ham, and BayerLeverkusen are the strong favourites. Whoever goes through in this tie will play the winner of. Who will play the winner of? Sorry about this, they'll play the winner of Roma versus Milan. Okay, oh gosh, so that is, who is set to play them in the semi-finals, whoever goes through in this one. What do we think Roma versus BayerLeverkusen they may be? Maybe, potentially. They've been in great form as well. If there's anyone who can end the BayerLeverkusen train, it's David Moyes' counter-attacking football, I'm sure. Yeah, there we go. Looking forward to that one. We'll have to wait and see whether the fans are there just to enjoy this ride or whether they can go further and heap more praise on David Moyes. What about Liverpool? What can they expect on Thursday then, Sam? Well, I think the big talking point from Liverpool is what actual team they'll put out. Obviously, how much did Sunday's thriller at Old Trafford take out of them? How big is the Europa League on their priority list? You probably put it fairly towards the bottom, considering there's the Premier League there as well. But it's the one trophy that Jurgen Klopp has not won at Liverpool. He'd be wanting to complete the set almost. But Liverpool will know that Atalanta are a very tricky prospect. It was about 3 or 4 years ago now. They were in the Champions League quarterfinals, nearly got through to the semis. They have had a very good, and they've continued that up until now. They had a very good result against Napoli in recent weeks. And of course, Liverpool remember that a few years ago, Atalanta's only trip to Anfield saw the Italian side win. So Liverpool know all about the problems that Atalanta will bring. They've got some ex-Premier League players as well. They had Kolasinac, formerly of Arsenal. Gianluca Scamacca leads the line. There's also Adam Ola Lukman, who's a squad player. So this will be by no means an easy Europa League tie for Liverpool at all. At all. You do just wonder about how it affects the mindset when they're in such a title race at the moment. Normally, Liverpool, of course, would be relishing European competition. You kind of wonder if they feel it's sort of getting in the way, don't you? Yeah, maybe potentially. I mean, I think they'll be delighted that they are only facing Europa League level opposition against Arsenal, who have to go and play Bayern Munich, who they have such an inferior record against Man City, who are facing one of the best teams, the Champions League's best ever side, 14-time champions, Real Madrid. So Liverpool hold the advantage in that respect, but it's just more games for a squad that has been stretched at different points this season. Alisson missing, Trent's missed games recently, Salah's not been in the best form ever. So, it's another test for them, but I expect them to make it through. The other quirky thing is that in the last round, Atalanta beat Sporting Lisbon, managed by Ruben Amorim, now linked to Liverpool. So, that's a wonderful story there. There we go. Aston Villa also in action on Thursday. Do you think this one could have an impact? Actually on the coefficient, couldn't it? Tell us why. It explains kind of what this all means then. Yeah, so the coefficient is being introduced ahead of next season, really. So the Champions League's being expanded. There are 2 places available for the sides that finish 5th in their leagues, provided that their leagues finish in the top 2 in terms of games won and points won in all 3 UEFA competitions this season. At the moment, the Premier League sits 3rd, so that's news for Aston Villa for Spurs. At the moment, 5th does not have enough for the Premier League to have a 5th spot in the Champions League next year, but the Premier League has the most sides remaining in the competition against Serie A and the Bundesliga, who are ahead of the Premier League in the coefficient. So, if all goes to plan and the English sides progress in the Champions League this week, or actually off to the second legs next week, there is a very decent chance that England will have a fifth Champions League spot. This is a difficult test for Villa though. Paulo Fonseca's Lille are a good side. Jonathan David, their star striker, has been causing damage in the Europa League all season long. So, Aston Villa, do not underestimate Lille.